Welcome back, everyone. Ready for another deep dive. Today, we're tackling something that trips up a lot of Java beginners, and honestly, it can be a bit confusing even when you've been coding for a while.
Oh, I know exactly what you mean. We're talking about Java modifiers, right?
Bingo. Public, private, protected. They sound straightforward enough, but once you start using them in your code, it's like, wait, what can access what and from where?
It's like trying to navigate a maze, blindfolded.
Exactly.
Let's try and make it as clear as possible. How about we use an analogy? Sometimes it's easier to understand coding concepts when you relate them to something familiar.
I love analogies.
Well, imagine a school, right? It's got different areas with different levels of access, just like a Java program.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more. How does a school translate into Java code?
All right, so let's start with something everyone knows, the playground. It's open to everyone, right? Kids from the school, kids from other schools, parents, anyone can hang out there.
Makes sense. It's a public space.
Exactly. Now, think of that playground as a public member in your Java code. It's accessible from anywhere, no matter what class or package you're in.
Okay, I'm seeing the connection. Public in Java means open access, just like a public playground. Simple enough.
Right. But we wouldn't want every part of our code to be like a public playground, would we? Think about the principal's office. You wouldn't want just anyone walking in there.
Definitely not. Some things need to be more restricted.
Exactly. And that's where the private modifier comes in. It's like the principal's office in our school analogy, only accessible from within that specific class.
So private is for things we want to keep hidden away, protected from outside interference, like the principal's secret stash of candy.
Haha, well, maybe. But seriously, keeping certain members private helps prevent accidental changes or misuse, keeping your code organized and, running smoothly.
Right, because we don't want anyone messing with the core logic of our code. So we've got public for open access and private for restricted access. What about something in between? Like, what if I want to share some code within a group, but not with the entire world?
Great question. Let's go back to our school analogy. Think about the teacher's lounge. Teachers from the school can access it, but random people from outside can't.
Right, it's kind of a semi-private space, only accessible to a specific group.
Exactly. And just like our teacher's lounge, there's also the protected modifier in Java. It allows access within the same family or package of classes, but not from the outside world.
Oh, so it's like a family secret recipe.
And there's an added layer to this. Remember how sometimes schools have visiting teachers, like substitutes? Well, they'd be allowed in the teacher's lounge, right?
Yeah, they're part of the teaching team for that day.
Exactly. In Java, protected access also extends to subclasses, even if they are in a different package. It's like welcoming those visiting teachers into the family, giving them access to certain things.
Okay, so it's not just about restricting access, but also about controlled sharing. Like sharing your family recipe with your cousin who lives in another state, but not with your neighbor.
Precisely. And this protected access is especially important when you have inheritance in your code, where one class inherits properties from another.
Got it. So protected is about keeping things within a family, but with a bit of flexibility. This is making so much more sense.
Glad to hear it. Now let's go back to our school one last time. Think about the classrooms. They're accessible to students and teachers within that school, right? But not to people just walking in off the street.
Yeah, classrooms are meant for those belonging to the school.
Right. And in Java, we have something similar, the default access modifier. It's what you get when you don't explicitly use any of the other keywords, public, private, or protected.
So it's like the unspoken rule, kind of like the default setting.
Exactly. These default access members are only visible within the same package. They're like those classrooms, accessible to those who belong to the school, but not to outsiders. The whole point of these modifiers is to help you write well-structured, secure code.
It's like we're designing a school building, making sure everything is in its right place and only accessible to those who need to be there.
Exactly. And just like a well-designed school helps students learn effectively, well-organized code helps you and other programmers understand and maintain your programs more easily.
This has been such a helpful deep dive.